Nobody's mad at you because you're lying. People are mad because you're telling the truth. And what happens is when you tell the truth, that means you and every single person who is a part of the story, the plot, the scene, or the theme is going to be exposed. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist. And this is how you're not going to be silent or silenced in 2025. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. You have been warned. I'll give you a couple of seconds to figure out if you want to continue or if you want to leave. And if you're new here, we're here to heal, we're here to motivate, we're here to inspire, but most importantly, educate, inform, and keep it moving. And that's the vibe. No sugarcoating, none of that. Life is about choices. You get to decide what you want to do, including watching this video. And no, I'm not going to watch the tone that I'm speaking in because the truth has no filter. You see, when you're a good person and you're not out here hurting and harming people, you don't have to be offended by what people are saying towards you. You're going to be offended based off of your actions. Disclaimer, does this mean that every single person, including in myself, is perfect in this world? No, but most people like myself who choose to be a good person are aware of the consequences and know that we're not out here intentionally trying to destroy, distract, or mislead people. This doesn't mean that we didn't have choices to make, but it's inside of you, and what's inside of you will always come out. You cannot hide who you are. You cannot pretend to be a good person. You cannot pretend to be a healer. You can't pretend to be all these things when your energy doesn't resonate with it, and that's what it is. You feel my energy. So if people were sick of you before, prepare for them to be drop dead, and that's what it is. Nobody's not going to continue to deal with the psychological abuse, the mental abuse, because as your favorite mental health specialist, enough is enough. I'm tired of everyone who chooses to support me and the people in this world who are suffering from trauma from people who've been abusing them 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It is time for us to let it go, and I'm speaking from experience, and boy, is the year only getting started. Boy, do I have a lot that I'm going to talk about. I'm not afraid to make anybody feel uncomfortable because not only am I going to tell you what I did, they're going to be exposed. And if people really feel some type of way about you speaking your truth, they shouldn't have did what they did. And with me exposing myself and them, there's no problem. I have no problem raising my hand, my right hand, this was my left, and saying I made certain choices because I was hurt. I made certain choices because I was naive. You're not a bad person if you acknowledge and you own up to it as a woman or as a man. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, or your age, or your ethnicity. It's when you sit here and act as if what you did wasn't wrong. You sit here and you can't apologize for what you did. You don't realize how it affected people, and you're not trying to work towards what you did. Like, nobody's going to be mad at you if you apologize. Nobody is going to hold it over your head if you realize that what you did was wrong because maybe you were hurt, and hurt people is when you sit here and act as if what you did not affect people. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, we as people cannot just act like things don't happen. And I personally will never allow the people to sweep them things underneath the rug. A lot of times as a mature, loving individual person, you know that you don't always have to address certain people, and it's a time and it's a place. It's a time and it's a place. Put it in the comments. It's a time and a place on when certain things need to be addressed, because speaking from experience, when you do try to confront certain people who are narcissistic, mentally unstable, emotionally unstable, who are just mean or just very low vibrational, or who are too prideful and arrogant, they will really sit here and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or they'll lie, or they'll say that's a you problem, and they never want to be accountable for what they did. And it's just like, I have no respect for people like that, and neither should you. Like, nobody is sugarcoating how they feel. So moving forward, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to continue to work on ourselves and remove and release every single person who is not for you. Like, we're going to achieve our goals. We're going to become healthy and wealthy, and what that looks like for you is going to be for you. But it's just like, nobody is going to be tiptoeing just to make you feel comfortable. Now, of course, when you learn to forgive yourself, speaking from experience, you learn to forgive the past version of yourself and those people, because trigger warning, those people were only in your life because a version of you that was not healed. You are not where you were supposed to be. You are not the best version of yourself. You would not intentionally surround yourself with people who you know don't add any value into your life, who do not uplift you, who do not support you, who are not there for you, and willingly decide to hang around them. If you do, it's because you genuinely don't love yourself. And Me personally, I've never felt that low, but I've witnessed it and I've seen it in other people where some people would just be around people because it's convenient or because it's beneficial. We have too much respect for ourselves, ladies and men, black people, white, Asian, Hispanic, the gays, the hays, the them, the she's, the we's, and the e's and FG's. And when you do not talk about how you feel and you suppress how you feel, you think you have PTSD, you think you have ODD, ACD, 1, 2, 3, EFG, ABC, anxiety, neurodivergent, autistic. Like, those are all labels and attachments. You didn't even know none of that stuff existed until it was exposed to you, just like anything else. So once again, take what resonates, leave the rest. If it's not for you, nobody cares. You don't have to be here. People make choices. This is for the people that are going to get it, and those who don't, you don't have to. Don't feel entitled to people's life, because a lot of people love to sit here and say, oh, well, if you don't want people to feel some type of way, you shouldn't be doing this. No, you should be mindful of what you do, because we can't control how other people feel. That's why my videos, my content is for the audience, and the people that support me, I see you. Everyone else, you don't matter. And that's the problem. All these people that are one-sided beef, who have this envy, who are narcissistic, who don't want to be accountable, are trying to force themselves into your life, and you're not even worthy or valued. Stop listening to people who do not make you feel seen and heard. Stop dimming your light. Stop making everybody else feel comfortable. If you try to tell somebody how you feel and they want to sit here and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or I don't know what you're saying, or cut them off. Stop talking to them. Now, if you have to be in around them, keep it professional. If it's like your so-called family, so-called friends, see them for who they are. They're not going to change. And you will be disappointed if you expect them over and over and over again. When people cheat on you, they don't like you and they decided to do it. When people gossip about you, they don't like you, they don't care. When people talked about me to their family members, when my family members talked about me to other family members, it made me realize not only do they not respect themselves, they don't respect me, because there's no way you can sit here and say, oh, I love you, or that's my sister, that's my daughter, that's my girlfriend, and you talk about people, you choose other people, and you allow people to disrespect you. You never let anybody get outside of your relationship to have a say. So that's an immediate red flag. That's so disrespectful. If somebody really loves you, yes, you can have difficulties. You're not always going to agree with people, but you should be able to have a conversation, a real heart-to-heart conversation, and say, you know what, and get some type of assistance, get some type of guidance, go to therapy. But it's just like, if not, leave them people alone. People know what they do. Like, stop allowing people to make it seem like you're just great. If people want to sit here, once again, like the people that talked about me to their family members, if you didn't like me, why are you having a conversation about me to your mom and your dad? Why are your parents talking about me? They're supposed to be grown adults. You're not my friend. Those people were never your friends. And you have to realize that these people are not for you. And once again, had you knew who you were, had you been where you were, you wouldn't even have crossed paths with them. So it's just like, don't allow their projections, their bitterness, their frustration to affect you. Like, give it back to them. In 2025, you need to keep your head up. You need to focus on yourself. You need to take care of yourself. And you need to do the things that you need to do and get to where you need to be, because they don't matter. And not just that, once you learn to let go of your past, I'm telling you from experience, life is going to become super duper easy. Life is going to be flying colors. You're going to have a straight path, a straight runway, and you're going to be safe. You're going to be protected. You cannot be safe. You cannot be protected if you don't talk about what has happened to you. So if certain people touched on you, talk about it. If certain people made fun of you, talk about it. Rather you have to journal it in a notebook, rather you go to therapy, rather you book a service in a session with me, your favorite mental health specialist, or you find somebody, a guidance counselor, rather you pray, you go to church, Bible study, whatever you choose to believe in, rather you go outside, rather you physically find ways to cope, but you have to release it. Stop suppressing how you feel to make other people feel comfortable. If they, like I said, really felt some type of way, apologize and change your behavior. Now, of course, when you apologize, it could take some time on learning and growing. Everyone does not internalize, everyone does not process information the same way. So yes, take your time. Nobody's rushing you, but make that decision and realize how it's affecting you. I have never been the type of person to intentionally talk badly about anybody that I said that I cared about. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you think you're... No, it's not about being holier than thou. If you say you believe in certain principles and certain actions, then that's what your life should be a reflection of. If you say you do certain things, then That should be a reflection of it. It's hypocritical. And as a grown adult, as you mature in life, as you realize that, you just have to be responsible. That's why I make these videos publicly, because it's just like, I'm not afraid to talk about anything that I did, because I know when I was wrong, and I've apologized. I've apologized, and I will continue to apologize, and I'm continuing to work and grow. But if you can't even apologize and continue to work and grow, nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody has to deal with you. Like, stop dealing with people who are just, because it's just like, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You are not an option. Nobody should be envious. Like, people think being envious and jealousy is it's not normal. It's not normal. It's chaotic. It's confusion. Confusion. Okay? Anything that's confusing, anything that's conflicted, anything that's discomfort, it's not healthy. You can have disagreements because everyone doesn't understand, but just because you disagree doesn't mean it turns into an argument. Doesn't mean somebody's trying to be right or wrong. Doesn't mean you think you know everything, or you just always have to be smart. We don't all know everything. But what people know is what they've been exposed to. And that's where communication is important. And speaking from experience, there were certain people in my life where I had to learn how to communicate how I felt and how to be patient, and to realize if the relationship was worth my time and energy. A lot of the people, I would say 95% of the people, I didn't communicate because I didn't value the relationship that much. Now, when you value relationships, you need to communicate. You need to communicate. But if you don't value the relationship, leave. If people want to think the grass is greener on the side, hand them the sprinkler. If people want to act like they don't want to hear you, they don't want to support. Okay? So with that being said, make people feel uncomfortable. The same way they made you feel uncomfortable about you being you, and you weren't out here bothering everybody. Because that's the thing. As long as you're not harming yourself and you're not harming nobody, who says that you can't be all that in a bag of chips? Because everyone is a bag of chips. You got salt and vinegar, you have Takis, you got hot Cheetos, you got barbecue, you got plain, okay, you got Fritos, you got Funyuns, you got Pringles. Why not? You're allowed to take up space, and anybody who has a problem with you taking up space, they can move around. Because it's not like people are getting to know you. People that judge you and don't know nothing about you always going to have the most to say. Their opinions don't matter. Why would you value people whose opinions don't matter? They don't finance you, they don't feed you, they're not educating you, and they don't want you to do well. What sense does that make? And those people don't think, and they don't have discernment. And if you're this person that I've been talking about this entire time, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you'll end up destroying yourself. That's what's going to happen. I've witnessed it for the first 27 years of my life. I'm telling you from experience, what goes around comes back. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It could happen to you when you get older, and that's worse. You want to learn your lessons as you're youthful. So therefore, when you mature, if you're able to live that long, because nobody knows how long you're going to live for, you're not continuing certain patterns. Because if not, you will end up dying that way. Yeah. Okay? So this video was a lot different. It needed to be said. This is the tone. So you have a choice. You have a choice. We have to raise the vibration. This is huge. It's bigger than me, and it's not about me. So if you have questions, comments, and concerns, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on your post notification bell, and follow me on all social media platforms at Ty Guidance as your favorite mental health specialist, your favorite rich auntie. At least on this account, if you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know about being silent, or if you have any topics or concerns that I haven't addressed in the comment section or in the community section here on YouTube, as well as my Instagram and on TikTok. You can vote in my story about certain polls about certain topics and concerns. Or if you would like a more intimate, one-on-one, relaxed, chill type of vibe, head to my website at tyguidancesummer.com. When it comes to the motivational videos, the energy has to be on 1,000. But of course, when you're healing, because it's a lot more intimate, the energy is not going to be like, like all like this. But it is what it is. I'm not making anybody feel comfortable. If you don't like me, I'm not telling you to. And that's the energy you need to have. Raise the vibration, raise the standards, because when you raise your vibration, you raise the standards, everyone else has no choice but to act accordingly, or they can leave. And once somebody decides that you're too much, that's fine. If I'm too much, go find less, or go be with who you want to be with. If you're doing the most, then do nothing. The world's not gonna stop just because people feel some type of way about me or you. And you should not care when you love yourself, because that's what people confuse. People confuse loving themselves and confidence with being arrogant. Arrogant is when you think you're better than everybody else and you feel the need to be superior and you try to belittle them. That's not cute. That's ugly. And that's what we're not, because being ugly has nothing to do with your appearance. It's how you are inside. Okay? Love you. Bye.